my wife's Brompton today. It's a case of the chain keeps jumping off of the front chain ring, and it happens under load and doesn't seem to be a problem when it's on my bike stand. But it's a very, very old Brompton, one of the first M3s converted to a 6. Well, that's not right for a start. Look how the chain's not on the ring properly. Well, I'm going to check the chain for a stretch. I don't know. I think I'm just going to start with a new chain to start with. And the easiest way to get the chain off is to let down your back quarter and just slip off the chain from the derailleur like that. Easy peasy. And then we can split the chain. So I laid out the new chain against the old chain, and this is the old chain. And if I've got it right, and I matched up the links and the number of links rather than the actual length, because the old chain, this one, is just so stretched. As the chain was so stretched and we're putting a new chain on, the usual thing is to change the front chain ring plus the sprockets at the back, or cassette if it's a different type of bike. And I just took off this chain ring and crank, and it's an all-in-one. So the newer Bromptons are spider system, and you can just change the chain ring, keep your crank and pedal. So with this one, the chain seems to fit quite nice and snug onto the chain ring, so maybe it's not beyond good use. It's the teeth aren't really hooked or anything. So the new chain on, and it's fitting lovely on the front chain ring. But when I took it a test ride, even though it seems great on the bike stand changing gear, it's still slipping, which is what I would expect, because the chain was so stretched that it's almost inevitable that these rear sprockets are worn as well. So we'll need to take that off and replace them. There's the ring that you take off first, and then your two sprockets come off easily, and that, you can see, is filthy with hard oil. And there we go, a nice new sprocket set on. The sprocket set was £15 from Brilliant Bikes, including postage. Comes with the new plastic shield, the largest sprocket or cog. Then you can just make out a new spacer. That was the old spacer, a metal one, but the new one is kind of a nylon or plastic spacer. Then your smaller sprocket, and there's only one way these will go on. I've put the wheel back in, and one thing that I noticed is that on the newer Bromptons, the tab washer has two tabs, tab at the bottom, tab at the top, and it's actually marked top, but this much older model just has the one tab. So as long as you get the flats of the axle into the dropout, then you'll be fine, and the tab will go straight into the hole there. Now I'm cleaning out the jockey wheels, and as you can see, this one is solid with oil and dirt. Those are actually holes in there. I've cleaned out those ones as best I can just now. I'll use a brush in a wee minute. Okay, so that's the bike all reassembled. It's running beautifully. This bike, as I mentioned, is very old. It may be 25 years old. It has had a new back quarter section just before my wife went on her Knit One Bike One project. Oh, it also had a new hub, and so that's not original, but most of it is original. And yes, the Knit One Bike One project, she cycled most of Scotland, teaching spinning and knitting and crochet. Went across to the islands, did an awful lot of miles. She was camping, carrying all her luggage on the Brompton, and it's a book called Knit One Bike One. And very, very interesting read about how she travelled, and well, it was the worst summer in history, I think, that year.